Hello, I'm Thunderflare, Brony Analysis Extraordinaire, and as you can see, I'm experimenting with some new lighting. Let's see how this goes. Well, anyway, Pinkie Apple Pie. In this episode, well, obviously, Pinkie Pie finds out that she's related to the Apple family, and the Apple family decides to take her on a trip to Golden Delicious's house to find out for sure if she is, because the genealogy that Pinkie Pie found was damaged and not entirely reliable. It's really a very interesting episode. Things happen that I was really impressed with. I wasn't really expecting much with this episode because the concept seemed, well, just normal. I mean, it seemed fine. It was similar to concepts in the show, well, a similar vein to what the show usually does, the slice of life stuff, and it actually does this rather well. I like the fact that they don't make it clear at the end whether or not Pinkie Pie is actually related, and just make it that Applejack throws out all doubt because she knows that Pinkie Pie is practically family because of how close she is, which I always thought it was kind of weird. Even when I heard the episode, I thought the possibility of it ending that way would be weird because didn't Super Cider Squeezy 6000 establish that she was an honorary family member? Whatever. Uh, let's look at this episode in a self-contained manner. It is, it is very entertaining to watch. Uh, check my notes because I don't remember everything. Well, first of all, there's a really early set of jokes where Apple Bloom actually tells a joke about getting her cutie mark. It's pretty funny. She says, I bet I'll get a cutie mark at being the best behaved pony ever. And she obviously means it as a joke, and that was very nice. And there's also a joke with Big Mac saying, yep, where Applejack asks, are you sure we packed everything we needed? Yep. Are you sure you can pull all that? Yep. Are you sure the car can? Yep. That was hilarious. And they also had a very clever nod to the Applicious videos on YouTube. You might not be aware of them. I'll link one in the description. You kind of have to see it to get it. And it was very cleverly done so that even if you didn't see it, it just seems like Apple Bloom doing something funny. And yeah, great humor. And I did kind of like how the conflict went when Applejack talked to the family and told them to present their best. I didn't quite get it because there hadn't been any pre-established tensions with the family. A bit between Big Mac and Applejack, um, but this seemed to be something new that was being brought to the forefront. And when I think about it, we don't see the apples interacting with each other a lot. I mean, in Apple Family Reunion, there was that, but it was all the apples all together, so there were so many of them you couldn't notice any tension because the focus just kept shifting. So the fact that this focuses specifically on this immediate family, it's a rather interesting uh, exploration of the characters. And I do like that they finally reference the fact that Applejack seems to be everything that keeps the Apple family together. I mean, without her around, they just fall apart. I always thought it weird that whenever Applejack isn't involved in the Apple family, that everything just goes to shit. Everything just goes crazy. And Big Mac can't handle it. Why? I don't know. But it's very nice. And Golden Delicious is apparently a crazy cat lady. Wonderful. We have a crazy cat lady, and she even has a leopard. I think it was. I think it was a leopard. There was a leopard in there or something. Some big cat. Okay, I'm pretty sure it was a leopard, but I could be remembering wrong. I just remember it was a big cat that you really should not keep in your home. Like, what is this where Arizona gets all his cats? That would be an interesting fanfic. Awazoto working with Golden Delicious. Really interesting. And I'm sure I don't have to tell any of you that the song is awesome. I mean, that song was leaked ages ago and it was insanely catchy. And yes, it's just as catchy. I felt weird about the presentation my first time seeing it. I guess I was used to seeing it with the animatic and also hearing the audience singing along with it. So I wasn't entirely prepared for the setup presentation there, but it wasn't bad. It just felt weird to me, but I know this because I was just used to the leaked version. I'm sure after repeat viewings, I'll get used to this version and like it just as much as I like the leaked version. It's still really good, really catchy. It's got some great lyrics, and this is another reprise. These guys have been having a real fetish for reprises, more so than the fade out ending teasers. You know it's just been a little interesting. Each song so far has had a reprise, and the reprise tends to be better than the original. Except in this case. In this case, the reprise is pretty much just as good as the first run through for the song. And let's see, something else I liked. I liked how they incorporated something that happened in the song into the main storyline. That the 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 cart fell apart, and they call it a jalopy for some reason. I don't know why. And what they had to do was they had to turn it into a raft and go down the river. Like, all right, now they're going to predictably go down a waterfall. And yeah, they did. And somehow the raft remained together. I don't get it either. But I was able to look past that. I mean, the episode is really good. It's really fun and enjoyable. And I'm glad that they didn't shoehorn every single character in here like they have in some of the other episodes. It worked in Rarity Takes Manhattan and Power Ponies, but not in all of them. Some of them, there were contrived reasons to have the characters in there. Twilight's in this episode, but they give a pretty decent reason for her to be in that episode. She's researching genealogy for some reason. Maybe she's trying to find out she's related to Star Swirl. That would actually be pretty cool. Or maybe she's related to the pony that taught Princess Celestia and Princess Luna magic. Wouldn't that be interesting? But anyway, it makes sense because if any pony in Ponyville would have a ton of records about anything, it would be Twilight. It would be Twilight Sparkle. So it would make sense for Pinkie Pie to find out through Twilight. I mean, it would make a lot of sense for Pinkie Pie to just randomly rummage through Applejack's genealogies. But if Twilight Sparkle's researching it and Pinkie Pie's curiosity is piqued, she might take a look. That makes sense. So there was a reason, and she stays right where she should be in the story. She stays right at the opening scene, studying the genealogy. Okay, yes, that's it. You're doing it right now. Well, this is probably the best Applejack episode, and a really good Pinkie Pie episode too. And definitely my favorite iteration of Big Mac. My favorite episode involving Big Mac is he is just brilliant in this episode. Well, be sure to comment, rate, and subscribe. See you next time.